Hello everyone, this is your discussion assignment for Unit 2. We're going to do our discussion assignments a little differently. One is we're going to actually discuss. Your responses will not be in writing, but they will actually be a video recording. And I'm going to tell you about that at the end of this. The other thing is I'm going to make 4 different due dates for your discussion assignments so that you are more actively involved in the discussion assignments throughout the unit rather than pushing them towards the end of the unit. I tried in my rubric to explain last unit the importance of making sure that you were getting on your discussion assignment at least a couple times a week. But I understand that that gets a little bit difficult because as a student, you're overwhelmed. And I realize you have more than just your school. And you tend to push your due dates to when they're last due. And when I put the due date for the discussion assignment, and even though I remind you until you get on and do the discussion assignment, it's easier to just look at that due date and push it off. So our first discussion assignment is going to be due on Wednesday, and it is going to involve our white collar crimes. So if you had not had the opportunity to watch the videos regarding the white collar crimes in the last unit, please do so because that's a requirement of this discussion assignment. In those videos, they give you uh, a brief explanation of Enron, Bernie Madoff, and Sam Bankman-Fried, some of the biggest white collar crimes that have happened. Enron was the case where you saw a company really abusing its powers to get people to invest in it, even though it was basically defunct. And people lost a lot of money. And so, what was the aftermath? We had to put something in place. We had to put legislation in place. We put the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in place. And what that did is that mandated a number of reforms to basically say we're going to enhance corporate responsibility, we're going to enhance financial disclosures and combat corporate and accounting fraud. It basically said we're going to have individual audits for companies. You as top managers you're going to certify individually the accuracy of your financial information. And what they're saying is we're going to show that you intended to do something right, because that intent that we talked about before is hard to prove individually. But if we have top management signing off on the accuracy of financial information and it's not true, that's going to help us show intent. And it really increased the penalties for these types of crimes. President Bush called it the most far-reaching reforms of American business practices since the time of FDR. So it was really important. Since Sarbanes-Oxley, we haven't had a ton of reform like that. But I anticipate some is coming, and it has to do with another gentleman by the name of Sam Bankman-Fried. And as you learned from the video, he comes from 2 Stanford law professors as parents, very brilliant. He basically got into the Bitcoin rage and made a lot of money from it. So he decided he was going to do his own cryptocurrency. This is very similar actually into Enron in that there's not a lot of regulation on cryptocurrency, just like there weren't a lot of regulations for corporations when it came to Enron at the time. So what happens when there's no regulations is there is tons of room for fraud, right? Basically, he got um, investors to invest billions of dollars in his company. And he used one of his companies, banks, FTX used his bank accounts from Alameda to accept customers who were investing in FTX. And in the gist of it is he was getting people to use FTX as a cryptocurrency platform, and their money was supposed to be their money to use as they want, but he was using it through his other company, Alameda, and defrauded basically billions of or a lot of investors of billions of dollars. Okay, he files for bankruptcy, and they collapse. So, in a nutshell, now what? So there's no regulation on the cryptocurrency, and so the aftermath, right? What happened? Well, Sam Bankman-Fried was convicted. Um, last year, and he actually will be um, sentenced in March of 2023. And he can face up to life in prison. But the question is really, what as a legal point of view do we do? And I have a feeling that there will be a lot more regulations similar to how Enron started Sarbanes-Oxley SOX. That will happen in the crypto industry. So he was arrested, tried, and convicted on 7 counts. March 28th, he could face 100 years. The prosecutor made a very interesting comment and said the cryptocurrency industry might be new. The players like Sam Bankman-Fried might be new, but this kind of fraud, this kind of corruption is old as time, and we have no patience for it. So this kind of leads to the discussion question that we have for this unit to start. First of all, the due dates on the discussions are going to be the Wednesdays and Sundays at 11:59 p.m. and we're going to have 4. So I'll tell you, this one's going to be the initial post. After that's done, then I'm going to post another video talking about doing a reply post and so forth. How you can do it is if you go on and instead of typing a discussion, you're going to go into your toolbar above and you see the little play button with the music. You can push that and you can actually record media. And I want you to do a video of your answer. I do not want you to type it out. I want you to just kind of explain what your answer is. And what are you answering? Here is the discussion question. After you watch the videos on Enron, Madoff, and Sam Bankman-Fried, what are some similar characteristics from the CEO of Enron, from Bernie Madoff and Sam Bankman-Fried, and how they committed their crimes? Remember, the prosecutor said this is as old as time. So look at the similarities and how they were able to commit these crimes and what they did. And the second part of this is, and so I want you to use those videos in your answer and talk about it a little. And do the traits that they had impact the severity of what they did? I want you to think a little bit deeper about this and to who the people were and how they were able to commit the crimes that they did. And does that make it worse at all? Or is it just really the fact that they robbed people of billions of dollars in itself is really what we should be focused on? So I don't have any time limit, but I do need you to address the similarities in the 3 of them and how they committed their crimes and how those impact the severity of what they did. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you.